hear all kinds of birds around here, including the chicken. But there, I see mostly blue jays and cardinals and uh, woodpeckers and doves. The mourning dove. Ooh, ooh. There's a bunch of those around here. There's many other kinds as well. I think there's an indigo bunter. I think one of those are out here as well. I'm not for sure. Among other things that we've identified. Can't think of them right now. But what we've been doing, in addition to trying to name these birds, is recording them. That and the rest of the biosphere, the rest of the fauna as such, the animals as they exist in little 30-minute segment tapes. So we'll set a digital recorder out in the middle of the woods and let it sit for 30 minutes without being disturbed and just see what all kinds of things come up. And it's been some pretty interesting things that have arisen, mostly just very relaxing. But you can just hear you can imagine yourself where those birds are. You can just hear the little conversations, and you can tell when somebody upset somebody and whenever somebody's looking for love, just like with human beings. It's just on a different level. It's very interesting to watch and hear. Driving down the road with it's been great. I had to make a couple trips and jumped in the vehicle and turned that on and just kind of listen to this, and my mind can just think, enjoy the thoughts. I got some doves right there. Well, anyway, so another thing that kind of where the mind has been the last few days, and I like to keep my mind busy because it keeps me out of trouble. Been writing some music that came up. Hadn't quite got it finished yet. I really like the concept of Kaizen, and it's kind of where this is going to. With my music, with my life, a lot of things about me. I use a concept called Kaizen. Now, I've never really used it as much as what I have been recently. I started reading about the 7 habits of highly effective people earlier this year, and I kind of, I've got myself into just a lull. I wasn't doing the things that I wanted to do. I wasn't being successful in a lot of things I wanted to do. So I started reading that, and I started remembering a lot of the concepts that I had learned throughout my life and have implemented at various times. If you're not careful, you get lazy and you start not doing the things that you should be doing. But an example, both the 7 habits of highly effective people and the Kaizen have very similar concepts. With the highly effective people, you have to start being proactive. And proactive means that you have to get in front of problems. In other words, you want to fix things before problems come along. You want to have ways of dealing with issues that you know are going to come up. And then when you deal with issues, you want to deal with them right then and fair and square and get it over with and not have to drag things out and hum and haw and all that kind of business. You want to be proactive. You don't want to react to situations. You want to be proactive. You want to set the policies up front. You want to do all the stuff you need to up front so that you're not caught with your pants down whenever something bad comes along. That's being proactive. Now, and the second part that I think really is applicable of the 7 habits of highly effective people over to Kaizen is the personal mission statement. And what that ties into is knowing where you want to be. Whenever you sit down and you write a personal mission statement, and you tell yourself, well, these characters are important to me, these values are important to me, and this is what I want to emphasize into my future. That's pretty big. Because it's hard to do. I'm going to tell you, as a person who sat down many a day with this process and looked at a blank piece of paper, or in my case, walking through the woods, typing notes on the thing. I sit there. I came up with blanks because I was like, good Lord, what do I even stand for? And I don't even haven't all the way figured it out yet, but I know more about it. I'm not totally through with my mission statements, but I know more about myself now than I did in January as far as what I believe in and the actual truth about things. And sometimes it can be grounding. That aside, Kaizen is it looks at the world through the lens of good. The definition for it, if you just want throw it out there, quick definition is Kaizen, K-A-I-Z-E-N. You can look that up on Wikipedia or wherever. It's it means good change for the good. Zen, of course, is an aspect of that word. It's a part of it. And Zen is what's very hard to describe, but I guess you could describe it as good. It's a place where you're not living in the past and the future worried about things. You're sitting right here, right now. You know, you can be proactive and intentional. Proactive and intentional are the same thing, but you're not trying to affect everything all the time. From the Taoist part of Zen, you would know that there are certain things going in a certain direction, and you can affect it out there. It's kind of like with you in water. You can affect if you go that way or that way, but you can't stop water from flowing in that direction. It's going to flow. You can help move it around some. Well, anyway, so basically the whole analogy or the whole situation between these two concepts of the seven habits of highly effective people and good change is that you have some preordained, I guess you could say, goal out in front of you. You know, when you want to reach, and say that in a manufacturing situation, you want to reach a certain manufacturing productivity level. So you start studying your machines, and you find out if you replace this pulley up here, before 6 months, well then, you'll improve your quality by 20% because it starts wearing out after 4 or 5 months. You start losing productivity because it's packages getting thrown off the side or whatever the case may be. All kinds of little small things. You change it before it messes up. That's what good change is that you have a plan and then you enact certain things. It doesn't, you can't control everything in life. You're not wanting to. Through the very basic of Zen, you can't control everything. But there are certain things that you can control. And those proactive things, those things that you take in a proactive stance, are the things that you can control. And if you look at it, there are certain things that you can control. You can look at it online. So the number one thing that you can control, there's two things. One is your behavior, your own behavior. However you want to call it, your response to a situation, your behavior. So if someone comes up to you and they're starting a bunch of drama or whatever the case may be, whatever the situation that wants you to react, you can choose how you react. In other words, you don't have to do anything that you can't do or that you shouldn't do. You can stop yourself from it. It can be done. And it is done. Now, you may not want to stop it all the way. You may want to dodge and divert until you get it tended to, because you don't want to take the blunt full on most of the time. But that's the whole point of it, is that you know that things are going to change, things are going to be messed up. What can you do to eliminate that risk into the future? Well, I don't know what I can do, except for right now is to quit talking so that these birds can get on about what it is that they were doing. And I'm going to get back on and write my little Kaizen plan. My little mission statements, personal mission statements. What are you doing? You making yourself better? Tell me about it. I'd like to know about it.